Okay, so this is where you're rolling around on the ground. It's more grappling or MMA style. We'll go ahead and start off with a basic, so somebody gets you like UFC ground and pound style where they have full mount on top of you and they're just punching you in the face, okay? So I'm here, he's got on top of me, and now he's punching away. Okay, so let me break it down a little bit now. So, first thing, somehow he got me in this position where he's on top of me, and now he's going to punch my face in. So first thing I need to do whenever I'm on the ground is I don't leave my legs flat like this. Okay, I bring them up, because if I don't, I'm going to be down here all day. Okay, I need hip mobility or knee mobility to actually get out of this position. Okay, second, I want to kind of check his legs with my elbows so he doesn't slide up on me. But of course, what he's trying to do from here is he's just trying to punch my face in. So as soon as he starts flailing on me, the first thing I got to do is I got to cover as much of my head as possible. Okay, so I come up here like this. I cover the back of my cervical spine here, because every time he's hitting me, the energy going forward drives my head back into the concrete. Now I'm getting hit twice. I'm getting punched 2 times for every 1 time he hits me. Okay. So I cover the back of my head, I cover my temple, as much of my eye as possible, my jawline and my neck, just by folding my arm around my head like this. Okay? I do that with both arms and try to bring them together. Alright, now, obviously there's still some gaps in there that he's going to try to hit, but it's going to be a little harder. If I start being a moving target, I start moving a little bit, he starts swinging at me, okay? He's punching. Okay, now, immediately, I thrust my hips up, so he's got to reach his hands out to go ahead and get his balance. From here, I'm going to shoot up and grab one of his arms. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here, clench his head and pull it in, okay? So I bring my arm here, I've got this wrapped up, I've got this wrapped up. He can't punch me in the head or in the face with either one of his arms now. I've got this one under control, and this one here, he could try to reach around, but his head is now protecting this side of my face from his other arm. Okay? From here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here. I've got this arm trapped. Now I'm going to trap this leg here. Okay? I bring this leg up. I trap here. Now I'm going to hip bump up and over this way. Okay? From here, okay, I've got one arm checked right here, one arm checked right here. So it's still really hard for him to punch me. Okay? At this point, if I want to break one of my arms free, come up and cover my head with it. Okay? And at this point, this now becomes a weapon I can use against him. Okay? I can drop a 12-6 elbow with all of my body weight into his sternum, into his solar plexus right here, while still covering my head at the same time. So I'm going to soften up a little bit so I can break this guard. Okay? As I work my way out, I can, while keeping my hands up still, drive my elbows in here in the femoral, here in the groin, soften this up. Now, as I come up, I start posting a leg. From this point, I have several options. I could simply try to get his legs down so I can disengage, or I could try to come here where I can actually pressure pass, and then I'm in a dominant position on him. How would you lay on the gun? And you want to do a headlock? Not like off to the side of the body. Okay. Do that. There you go. Okay. Okay, I will narrate it for you while you do it, since you're not going to be able to talk very well from down there. So he's got him off in a typical headlock position. Okay, first thing, he's going to go ahead, he's going to pull, he scoots off to the side of his hips, and he gets his elbow under the person's body. He gets his elbow back. Okay, the next thing he does is he walks his legs forward. and he hooks into one of those legs right there. That's the leverage he really needs to get out of this headlock. From here, he slowly fights his way out, and when he does, he immediately pulls the other person into a rear position, where now the other person's in very big trouble, and he can just choke him out. I'm taking. Punching, choking. Okay. Yep. Back through it. Talking through it while we're wrestling him. So. Okay, so as I'm here, I'm punching. What he does, he's trying to get a hold of one of my arms. Okay, he drags one of them in. What he's doing now is he moves his head and shifts his hips. So now it's harder for me to reach him with this other arm. Okay, he's trying to sit up. Ideally, from here, he could almost just sweep me with his hips. Like if he just really said, go ahead and do the sweep. He could just sweep me immediately over. Okay, but I gave him a little resistance on it. Okay. So I went over here, he grabs this arm, he sits up to go for this sweep. I gave him a little forward resistance. He just sat back. He goes ahead. What he does here, he bends arm, reverse bends arm lock, brings up towards the center of my back, and locks the shoulder. All right, any questions on any of that? Okay, do you guys have any questions on any scenarios, different techniques?
Anything you guys run into before and you couldn't get out?
Yes, sir.
How long did it take to do all of that?
To learn all of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I took almost 5 years to become a first-degree black belt. You took how long to get before you were proficient?
A good, 5 or 6 years.
It must have been hard.
Now, Eric here has only trained for about 8 or 9 months, and he's also fairly proficient. He's been training under us, and he's come a long ways, so he understands a lot of techniques. So you don't necessarily require, that doesn't necessarily require 5 years, but it depends on what do you want to specialize in. If you're trying to focus on any sort of martial arts system, judo, jiu-jitsu, hapkido, anything that's very heavy and has such a wide variety of techniques, it's going to take you a long time, or it's going to take you a few years to get proficient at it. Whereas systems that are more simple, for example, boxing or wrestling, where it's limited to maybe few less techniques, okay, it'll probably take less time to get as proficient as those few techniques, right? Okay, let's do some.
How about a chokehold?
A chokehold,
Yeah.
like somebody getting out of one.
Oh yeah, I would agree.
Okay. You want me? Okay. So, I'm coming up behind here with a chokehold. Actually, you can explain that. So go ahead and explain it.
Alright, so as he comes around, I tuck in my chin, and I fight for my neck, and I get in my horse stance, and I get him up on my hips. Just knee on belly, I can do whatever I want from there.
What about a grab for the 100? So now we're going to do another grab another tag from behind. This is more of the somebody's coming up and kind of creepily grabbing you, like, hey man, I'm taking you this way, you know. So go ahead and. So, walk him through it.
Alright, so as he grabs me, I'm gonna get in my fighter stance, put up my hand just in case he throws that other punch, counter grab, come in for that side kick, or go in for that knee and drop my weight on that knee. And then I just finish it up with a lock.
Not too
or
bad.
lay down.
Down the lock.
The lock is just figure four.
Okay, here's a good one too. So if somebody comes behind me and gets me in a bear hug with my arms in. Okay, so I'm like this. There's not a whole lot I can do, right? So what I do here is I push my hands down first off. So I push my hands down and then up. See this? See that space I just made? Now I've got a little space here. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack the actual leg. Sit onto it like this. See, I sat down right on top of his knee. From here, if I want to, I can finish just by breaking the leg with the leg lock. We'll go over it again. We'll add a different finish this time. So, she grabs me, shoot down, and up. Okay, I come here. I reach for this. Sit back. Okay, now. Ankle lock. All right, so
Did you do the other one with the start like the one you just did, but the variation of it?
oh yeah, we can do it. So, does anybody have any questions on those? Or on anything, really? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on then. So, obviously, between what you got going on here at high school, what could possibly happen in the civilian world, and what could happen overseas, there's a very wide, there's a myriad of different outcomes, possibilities, and escalations of force you could use. So, where in the civilian world, something as simple as a breakaway or a pain compliance technique might be what would be considered civil in a minor altercation. If things were to step up and somebody really is intending bodily harm, then it can turn into a fight, punching, kicking, grappling, okay? And then you get into your more lethal force stuff. People start adding weapons. There's techniques to deal with people when they're starting to deploy a weapon on you or use a weapon on you, or when you have a weapon and somebody's trying to take it, okay? These are the kind of things that you find specifically in military combatives or law enforcement defensive tactic curriculums. So these are the kind of things you're thinking about either when you're in law enforcement or when you're overseas deployed. So, Eric, do you mind talking a little bit about like some of the legal aspects of
Depends on the question.
safety, just law enforcement? Or do you guys have any questions on that particular
If
topic?
they had a question for me, I can answer it a little better. Then
I mean, I think it's like, just because you're like self-defense, like in school, you just can't kill anybody. You
Right.
can't just go overboard and you're gonna just do the reverse, correct?
Right.
But what, is that you're asking, like, we trying to figure like, so what do you now, like, attack on those and you can just go and use it every day and just do it?
Well, exactly. So it's about the. I mean, it's what I'm getting at here. It's about it's the who, what, when, where, and why. You know, who are you? Who is the person attacking you? These are things you have to consider in any situation. Who are you? Who is the person attacking you? Why are they attacking you? Where are you in the world? And what are you doing in reaction to it? So obviously, you know, if you're here in high school, you're a high schooler, and you are getting attacked by a bully, somebody who's just shoving you around, the who, what, where, when, and why you can do a certain technique or certain things you know is going to be different than somebody who is, you know, in Iraq or Afghanistan, and they're being attacked by an insurgent who is trying to stab them with a knife or trying to hold them hostage with a pistol, right? So, and everything in between that. It's just something to consider when you're actually thinking or talking about self-defense. So You see all these scenarios, some of them are arm breaks, some of them are chokes.